For Giants fans who are watching us for the first time, watching you for the first time, do you have a message for them about what they should expect? What's next?
Yeah, they should. I mean, they should expect me to go out there and ball, man. That's my plan. You know, I'm really trying to add to the defense, and I'm really excited. You know, I want to be able to, be a field general and help the defense, function super smooth. I seen some things like Antrell Rowley. He played there a couple years. Antrell Roll. He played there a couple years. Yeah, hey, if that's what y'all want me to end up being like, bro, I'm a have to ball, man. That's just how it's gonna be. But yeah, you can expect somebody that's dedicated to the organization and trying to help the team win, man. That's literally my mindset, my goal, and I can, I hope to be another individual that can really help us, have some success down in the stretch.
Seeing guys get life-changing money, if their dream.
I was like, yeah, New York Giants.
If there's a New York team that I'm going to pick, it would be the Giants.
Welcome back to Breaking House Rules with the newest New York Giants safety, Jevon Holland. Congrats on the new free agency deal, bro.
Appreciate that.
How are you feeling?
That. I'm feeling great, man. I'm feeling great. I was stressed as fuck. Like all of Monday, I was like so fucking stressed, bro. I really feel like my fight or flight was activated that day because I was on a golf course right in the morning because I was like, you know what, let me go do something to relax. The homie had like a little event, so I went out there. I'm like hole 6 and 12 o'clock hits. They're like, yo, like that's when illegal tampering starts. And I just figured that out because I thought free agency was on Wednesday, like today. So boom, it opens and my agents call me like, yo, like be ready. I'm like, cool. So then some things go down and some places that I thought I was going to go end up signing some other people. So my agents call me and they're like, yo, the market's like not materializing the way we thought. We're going to figure it out. Don't even worry about it. Like if these things happen, it's only day one. Stay calm, stay patient. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm staying calm, staying patient. So boom, all day goes by. I'm, golfing and whatnot, feeling good. As I go to the green now, like towards like the end of my round, as I'm going to the green, I'm like, damn, am I going to miss a call while I'm putting? So I start turning the music up so I can hear the music if I miss the call, like if the call comes. So then fast forward up. I get home, I'm like chilling on the couch and I'm like really tired. So I'm like, all right, like I'm just kind of waiting for the phone call. I end up falling asleep. I wake up and I look at my phone like in panic. Like while I'm asleep, I'm like, oh shit, the phone call. So I look at my phone, no calls. I'm like, damn, I'm really starting to get worried now. I'm like, all right, shit. So like, what's gonna happen? So I text my agent. I'm like, yo, like what's going on? They're like, don't worry, bro, just chill. Everything's working out. It's going fine. We're in negotiations. Just chill. I'm like, all right. So I start watching a movie. The Brutalist just won some Oscars. It's a great movie. You should definitely watch it. Okay. So I'm watching the movie. It's like 11 o'clock. My agents tell me, they're like, yo, stay up. Giants just called. Are you interested? I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm interested. Tell them let's work, let's do it. So then they start, negotiating, going through the details and whatnot. And they're like, stay up. Because they know I was like out all day and shit. I'm like, all right, cool. So it's like 12:30 at this point. And I'm like, yo, I'm still up. What's the word? And they're like, give us 5 minutes. They call me back. As you see, like the deal that they, 3 for 45, 30.3 guaranteed. And they're like, bro, this is a strong ass deal for both sides. Like this is really good. Like they really want you. They're really excited about you. I'm like, that's great because I'm really excited to be there. I'm blessed to be wanted, and it was stressful as fuck. But once I got the call that they were like, yo, deal's pretty much set. Like the Giants really want you. I was like, oh shit. And I wasn't able to like really relax until yesterday night, until like 9 o'clock at night. Cause like all day people were like hitting me up and the news broke and stuff. So yeah, I was just like stressed as fuck. I went to sleep, didn't really sleep that great, but I did get sleep. Woke up in the morning, the news had broke. My agent had sent it to Chef and Amy Rappaport. I was trying to send it to you, Cam. You know that, you my dog. I just want, because people gonna have questions. I was gonna send it to Cam in the morning. The details are still getting finalized. When I woke up, because I told my agent, I was like, yo, like, I was like, I'm gonna text Cam. They're like, all right, just give it, like, wait till the morning, whatever. So I was expecting them to call, but I was asleep. I slept through their call, so I didn't wake up in time. They're like, it's cool. Send the chef and them. And yeah, the news broke, and I'm a New York Giant. So,
Yeah.
and I've been receiving a lot of positive feedback from Giants fans and my family. I texted my family the night before, and they were like, I don't know if they really like understood it, because they were like, "Oh, that's great, like Giants, cool." And then in the morning when the news broke, they were like, "Oh, New York Giants." I was like, "Yeah, New York Giants."
Like this for real.
Yeah,
You know,
they're all super happy. My brother called me, my sister called me. They're all super juiced up. Yeah, it was dope. And Amanda's family, so my girl's from New York, right?
Yep.
So her family was like, "Oh my God, welcome back to the city." Da, da, da. And her aunties and mom and dad and stuff are so funny. So it was cool hearing from them. And she's like people that I went to like middle school with, like, welcome back to the greatest city on earth. Like, I didn't go to high school or middle school with you guys, like in New York. So it's been an up and down roller coaster, but it finished. Like, I'm super happy with where I am and where I'm about to be. So I'm really excited.
Yeah, free agency is a whirlwind, man. It's crazy, like, for you taking us through that process, and for folks who are just joining us for the first time, like, this is Breaking House Rules. This is what we do. We created this pod a few months ago with myself, Cam, Javon, and Dre down there, just to talk life, talk ball, give you guys a little bit behind the scenes, and now we hit a huge new chapter, and this is going to be an interesting element for us as a podcast. We still plan to keep going. We still plan to do it in a virtual landscape, but we're happy for you, Vaughn, like from a podcast perspective. And it's cool just to hear different nuggets of your journey. As far as the free agency scoop, it's all good, bro. Like I definitely understand that and how it flows. I appreciate you saying that, but I definitely think people at home are wanting to get a gauge of, okay, the Giants. Obviously, a lot of Dolphins fans who follow us, you spent your first 4 years there, really good peaks there. Obviously, you got injured at one point. And then when it came down to it, I'll just say this for people who didn't understand, who don't understand the process. The Dolphins just weren't super competitive with their offer in there. They decided that they were going to choose a cheaper, more value route on how they wanted to spend their money. And Vaughn hit the market, and he got in a situation with the New York Giants, who really wanted him, invested real money, as Vaughn said, 3 years, $45 million, a little over $45 million you can get with incentives, and over $30 million guaranteed. So really strong deal for that market. You had some other teams interested, Carolina, Tennessee were all in the mix, other teams as well. And ended up being the New York Giants. So I guess for Giants fans who are watching us for the first time, watching you for the first time, do you have a message for them about what they should expect? What's next?
Yeah, they should expect me to go out there and ball, man. That's my plan. I'm really trying to add to the defense. Like the defense is really young. I was just looking at some of the guys that we have and that we brought in this offseason. And I'm really excited. I want to be able to, be a field general and help the defense, function super smooth, in whatever way, shape, or form I can. Bless you. Whatever way, shape, or form I can, man. I want to be, I want to make sure that I'm going out there and ball. Everybody, I seen some things like Antrell Rowley. He played there a couple years. Antrell Roll. He played there a couple years. Yeah, hey, that's what y'all want me to end up being like, bro. I'm gonna have to ball, man. That's just how it's gonna be. But yeah, you can expect somebody that's dedicated to the organization and trying to help the team win, man. That's literally my mindset, my goal. Get the ball back to the offense. Like that's what defenders do. So I'm really excited, man. I think the players that we got are like the front. I know Dex Burns, KT, Case Rogers. He went to Oregon. There's a lot of guys up front that are going to help us. And I can, I hope to be another individual that can really help us, have some success down in the stretch. So definitely.
Yeah. I want to dive more into the Giants, but before that, I want to get you, Dre, into this mix because you're a Dolphins fan. You do a lot in the podcast space. Like, you have a really good relationship with us. We golf together. We vibe. I know there's a personal connection there. What's your reaction as you realize, Vaughn's actually leaving Miami and going away from the Dolphins and to the Giants?
Yeah, there's two parts of it. One's football related and one's not football related, right? Football related wise, obviously we're going to miss the hooper that we had on defense, right? That's going to be something that, being a Dolphin fan, watching Vaughn for the last 4 years and seeing what he brought to that defense from a leadership side and just overall talent side, it's something that we're going to miss tremendously. and it's a big gap and big hole to fill. And obviously, going to continue rooting for the Finns, but I'm just going to continue rooting for the Giants as well. The Giants will actually always have a special place in my heart, right? And that's because the year that the Patriots had the undefeated record going into the Super Bowl, the Giants held on to that, so the Dolphins still have the only undefeated record to this date, right? So Giants always have a special place. My mom's from New York too, so I hate the Jets, but if there's a New York team that I'm going to pick, it would be the Giants. So happy for Vaughn, obviously. Happy for the Giants. I think it's going to be a great fit for them. One of my best friends is a big Giants fan. He texted me when the news broke, and he was like, "We got your boy Vaughn," and I'm like, "You know what? I'm glad you got him." But second to none though, outside of football. Me and Vaughn play a ton of golf together whenever we can, and I'm gonna miss that probably more than anything. That days on the links. We gotta get a couple rounds in before he heads out, and hopefully in the summers when it's off season we can play some more golf.
Facts, definitely.
Hell yeah, Vaughn. There's a lot of Dolphins fans who are watching, and obviously the last year didn't go well as a team. People publicly said a lot of things, but there's still a lot of fans who are gonna miss you. You were homegrown talent there, drafted there, out of Oregon 4 years ago. The snowman. That's how they know you, and making some key plays, whether it's Black Friday versus the Jets, the punch out versus the Jags, the Steelers game. You've had a lot of great moments throughout your career. I think this picture we took after the game was after the Steelers game where you balled out there.
Yep.
And so, what is your thought? I guess personally about Dolphins fans, do you have any thoughts about the process of free agency, of how it went with you in Miami?
Free agent, going into the year, I'll talk about free agency first. Going into the year, I had hopes that we could, get a deal done that could stay in Miami for, however long. But it didn't work out that way. And I was okay with that. That was just the reality of the situation. And I knew that if I was going to go play out the year, however it went, I was going to end up going somewhere else. And there was a possibility to be able to get tendered and whatnot, but I wasn't really paying attention too much to, the money or anything like that in the season. I was really trying to help the team win. It was a tough year, like you saw. Our quarterback went down, et cetera, et cetera. And, that's just the way that the league works. Things happen, and you got to kind of shake and move. Coming out of free agency this year, they told me, hey, we're going to let you test the market, as you heard Mike say. And that was cool. I mean, that's just the way that, careers work. You spend a certain amount of time here, and then you end up going somewhere else and you spend some time there. So I'm grateful for the Dolphins and the organization for drafting me. I mean, they made my dream come true. Having me here for 4 years and being able to try to grow, under the organization and shifting and moving with the team, man. I mean, I think, there was a lot of turnover every year, from DC to DC, head coach to head coach. And I'm grateful for it all. It taught me so much. Every coach that I had, every, mentor that I had that was in the facility, the support staff, the strength staff, the cafe, training staff, everybody, masseuses, they're all super good people. And there's a reason why, they're rated number one a lot on those postseason rankings, because the people in the building are really great people. They really are. And I'm going to have connections with them to this day. Till the end of time, because I really value those people's opinion and the relationships that I built. And to the fans, man, I appreciate y'all. As much banter and, back and forth that I do with some of you guys, I really do appreciate the passion that you guys have for the Dolphins and the support that you guys had continued to give us and me throughout, my 4 years here. It wouldn't have been fun if you guys weren't out at the game, supporting, screaming at your TV, making the game feel more exciting than it could be if there was no one out there. So I appreciate you guys, and I'm gonna miss y'all. Of course, y'all got a near dear place in my heart. But yeah, it's always love. And yeah, I'm gonna just keep on being me. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, I think that's my favorite part of you as a person, Vaughn. You're gonna be you. People might not like it. People might not like everything you did. But I honestly vibe with authentic people, and I have things that I'm sure people don't love that I do. You have things Dre, I'm sure you have things, but that's what makes us human. So
right.
I do think, and I said this in the pod earlier this season, I personally do think that Miami as a team and Miami as a city is probably going to end up missing you more when you're gone than when you were there. And that's just something we have to realize in life. You don't realize how good it is to have a very talented top safety that you brought in, you drafted, and then you decide not to pay them. And, maybe they go out and ball elsewhere and you see it, and again, I get it. Injuries, maybe the last year didn't go the way it is, but I definitely think that, talent matters, people matter, and, we'll just kind of see how that goes going forward. But to kind of give people a lens into free agency, like I'll start on my side of things. Like it's a chaotic week, right? Like I'm a reporter for NFL Network. I work nationally, so I cover a lot of different teams. I'm usually in conversation with different agents and coaches and general managers and players. And it's just a lot of conversation of this and that. And, obviously from a news perspective, you love to be able to get stuff first. I had a graphic ready for you, Vaughn, if I was going to get the news. But like, I think that a lot of the process that's cool for me, other than the work process, is just like seeing guys get life-changing money, get their dreams, right? Like there's two moments that like I feel like are so special. Like draft day, when you first get drafted to like be in the NFL, be your dream. And then when you get that first big contract, like, yes, players are getting good money compared to the regular person on a rookie deal, but the life-changing money comes that second deal. As you see, Vaughn, like you're going to be getting $15 million a year. Like none of us can imagine what $15 million looks like.
Right.
But can you, like, so that's what I see from my side of things. It's funny because we talk about the tampering period, legal tampering period, which is a silly name for it because tampering happens way before Monday, but it starts Monday, right? And then free agency doesn't technically start until Wednesday afternoon. But you mentioned it earlier at the top, Vaughn, players, especially because of this current era, if you hadn't signed in the first 24 hours, you're like, what the heck is going on? Like, people not want me? Where's the money at? I had a player text me on Tuesday night, like, hey, is there still going to be money on day 3? And I'm like, yeah, there's still going to be money. Like, I'm getting a little worried. Like, where's the money? Where's the money? Like, I've never been a player who has been in free agency, but I can understand the worry of like, you built your whole career up for this moment. And then like, it's like, where is it? Where is everything that I've been at? So like, I guess I'll turn. So that's what I see on my side. Like Vaughn, can you maybe take us through like, what it was like those 24 hours, is particular about like, a team that may be in, a team that may be out. Like, what do you kind of see from that side of things? And then the final decision.
Yeah. So it was like, I would say starting at like 7 p.m. Right. So initially, I'm like, all the speculation sounds great. And before, I was seeing graphics that were like 4 years, 98 million. And I'm like, damn, is that what people think? I'm like, all right, shit.
Yeah. Apparently, the Twitter streets say you turned down the Vikings offer. That was crazy.
Bro, I seen that. I was like, what the fuck? I said to my agent, he was like, bro, they didn't even offer. Like, that wasn't even on the table. I was like, that's what I'm saying. Like, so that's another thing. Like, fake accounts be posting shit, whatever. And people in the comments like, oh, this guy's fucking arrogant. I'm like, yo, like, just chill. Like, that's not even a real thing. So anyway, bro, 7 p.m. I'm like, I thought I was supposed to be top of the market. Like, what's the right? So I'm starting getting nervous, right? And after I was really like, my heart was really pumping. I'm like, yo, like, damn, what the fuck is gonna happen? Like, I'm really like, I don't know what's gonna happen. And my agents have been through it, so they were kind of like chill and like just remain calm. I'm like really stressed. Like I said, I feel like my fight or flight activated because I was like sitting there. I kept looking at my phone. Like I kept looking at my phone, no calls. And I know that I just got off the phone with them. Like, so it was the most stressful shit I've ever been through in my life. It's more stressful than the draft process, than high school, all of that, right? And a lot of people like don't even really see that aspect because they think like, oh, this guy just signed a deal, whatever, and great job, and you move on. But there's so many different pieces. Like somebody could say something about me that could change an organization's complete mind without even asking me because they can't talk to me, or without even asking my agent, and go a completely different direction and not trust like, their resources to do research. They just ask somebody else, and then like now it changes my whole career and my whole trajectory on where I'm supposed to be at. You know what I mean? Yep. So that's I felt like I was supposed to be in one place, and then immediately it was like, you're not there no more. Like that's not an option no more. So I'm like, okay, so like let me pivot because I'm thinking about trying to put my mindset into places that I could be beforehand, so that I'm thinking, okay, which one would fit? Looking at the defense, looking at, the personnel, the city, how I want to live my life, the whole nine. Because that's what goes into being, that's what goes into the second contract. And once those places started like getting knocked off the list, I was like, all right, like where are we thinking? Like where am I gonna? So nah, bro, it was just so fucking stressful. Like it's the most stressful shit I've ever been a part of. Yeah. But it was so rewarding afterwards. And like you said, like it's life-changing money, right? Like 15 mil a year. Like it takes my dad, like how many thousands go, 100,000 going to 1 million? Like
10,
right?
So that's 150. 100,000. So like an average salary, maybe not even
that's
average.
150
probably,
years.
Yeah, that's and that might not even be an average human salary. That might be above average.
But that's
like a regular person, and that's 150. That's more than you'll make in your lifetime for.
That's 100. So like, that takes my dad 150 years, bro, to make that.
Yeah.
So that's why I got to put it in perspective. Even last year, my contract was like 3.3 or something like that. It took my pops 33 years to make that. You know what I mean? Like, I got to really put things in perspective so I can take a step back. Like, damn, somebody's paying me 45 mil to play football for 3 years. Why would I not go put everything I can into that to try to make it the best 3 years that I can make it? So that, I can make it feel like that investment meant something. You know what I'm saying? So,
And,
bro, I'll be trying to put that in perspective for real.
You'll be 27, 28 potentially when you can sign another deal. So you got another chance to get a third contract in your prime, which I think is really dope. I'm curious, so here's one thing that's so interesting about our podcast. We talked a little bit about this in our last episode of potential fits and desires. And you mentioned the Giants when we were talking about the conversation there. And obviously they had been brought up in conversation. And your girl, Amanda, is from New York, a lot of different layers there. But people from the outside will look and say, hey, this is a guy, typically guys want winning. The Giants traditionally have not won recently. How do you combat maybe the thought of that? And you obviously had a list of priorities of what you wanted when you signed somewhere. Where do you feel like the Giants fit in all of that?
Yeah, I think they fit. I think they're building towards winning. I think, teams that have had, struggles in the past need good players to win. And I think teams that, like I said, teams that are winning need good players to continue to win. So, like we've seen with the Commanders, the year before they were struggling, they get a quarterback and they get a coach, or, they get a new feel in the organization, and then now they're deep in the playoffs. You know what I mean? So, and same with Houston or the Lions. Like, it's the same kind of thought process. You just kind of got to trust the process, and these things flip around, in 2 years. So
for sure.
I'm excited. I'm excited about exactly. I'm excited about being a part of a process to build a team and help them win in any way, shape, or form. Especially I can only control on my side of the ball, right? So whatever they choose to do on the other side of the ball, I'm going to support them and try to help them get the ball back. That's just my job. And so I'm excited though. We have a really young defense. And I think the oldest guy is 29. But I'm really excited. They signed Paulson, which is my dog. We played against each other, Stanford, and I was at Oregon. KT, my boy, he was calling me. He was like, bro, come to the Giants, man. I was like, man, let's make it happen. I said, let's make it happen, KT. Dexter, Lawrence, me and him are the same trainer. Brian Burns, there's a lot. Brian, Bobby, how do you say his last name? The linebacker.
Okere. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There's a lot of good players that are on the team. Tay Banks. The other safety that they had, 31.
Tyler Nubin.
Tyler Nubin. Yeah. Yep. Drew Phillips. Adoree was on the team last year. So yeah, bro. Just a lot of solid players that I'm really excited to be around. I talked to Xavier too. Talked to X McKinney. And he was like, bro, you're going to love the organization. You're going to love the team. They're really good people. The organization really cares, and they really got real connections. The facility is solid. It's not bad, but it's solid. They take care of you guys. The facility is really for the players. And it's right there in New Jersey, right next to MetLife. The facility's right next to MetLife. I was asking where to stay. He was like Hoboken or Edgewater, Montclair, figuring it out. So, yeah, man, I'm just going through the same kind of thing I went through in Miami. You move out, you adapt. So I'm doing that now for New Jersey, New York. So I'm excited.
I'm listening to you talk about the defense, and I think we'll get to quarterback for a second because I think everybody always thinks about what's the quarterback situation, but like that defensive front is really good, and I was really interested when you mentioned Kayvon. Obviously, y'all played together at Oregon. What was that, 2019? His freshman year. I think that was your second year.
Yeah.
What was he heavy recruiter? What is Kayvon the recruiter like? Was what does that look like?
He's just very persistent. We went to a national signing day earlier this year in the off season, and we're on this like shuttle bus together, and he's sitting next to me. He's like, "Hey man, the G-Man looking nice this year, man. You want to come up to New York?" I'm like, "Man, I don't know where I'm gonna end up, but I mean, I'm gonna have to go fuck with y'all, And then it was Monday at maybe 6. He's in Hawaii right now. He called me. He's like, "Man, what's up, bro? Like, why you playing, bro? Just come up to New York, come holla at us, bro." I'm like, "Hey, it actually might be a real thing." And then, fast forward 2 hours later, the Giants ended up calling my agents, and we ended up chopping it up. And I had texted him, and I was like, "G-Man?" ? And then in the morning, he texted me. He's like, "Let's go!" So yeah, he's very persistent, very persuasive too.
Nah, that's dope. That's dope. As we look into the Giants as a whole, you mentioned the Commanders turnaround. You mentioned the Texans turnaround. Obviously, we've seen Philly and San Fran. Like, for people at home, what is realistic for this team as you come about it, as you become one of the higher paid players on the team, one of the leaders of the team? Like, what do you want the Giants to be in 25? Like, what is realistic to tell the fan base?
I mean, as somebody who's 2 days into it and just looking, I'm still kind of outside looking in, I really haven't, Yeah, I'm still learning it. From what I saw last year, the 1,000-yard running back rusher and 1,000-yard receiver.
Yeah. Malik Neighbors balled out, for sure. And
it's
first round pick last year. Yep.
They've got pieces on offense. Well, I think Waddell Robinson is another piece on offense. They just signed Darius Slayton back. So I think there's definitely pieces that they have. They just need to, just the quarterback situation is kind of what everybody's saying. And if you don't have a top 5 quarterback, I feel like kind of everybody has that issue. But yeah, I'm interested to see what they do. I think we have number 3 pick, right?
Yeah.
So whether they go get a quarterback there, whether they trade, I'm not really sure. But I'm definitely interested to see what we end up doing and how we end up maneuvering this offseason and in this next couple of months with the draft coming up and everything going down. So I'm excited, man. I think this is going to be an exciting time to figure out how to help galvanize a group of individuals to go to one direction and to have success and what it feels like to be in a new area, a new facility, a new organization that really wants you there, that really wants to win, and we have the pieces. We just got to put them together. So I'm really excited for real.
Yeah, let's look a little bit at free agency as a whole, and I'll start with those Giants teams because I'll just give a little insight of what I know. Obviously, you mentioned it, Paulson Adebo, big signing. Obviously, they prioritize that secondary, getting that defense right. And next is quarterback. This may be dated by the time it comes out. We may have some news, but they're in the mix for Aaron Rodgers. They and the Steelers are the 2 teams that he seems to be heavily considering the most. Now, Aaron Rodgers is Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if he's going to make his decision in an hour or 4 weeks from now. We just kind of got to see, but that seems to be a heavy, option there. I know Russell Wilson's also in the mix. And then, as you mentioned, they got the number 3 pick. And so, from what I understand, they're very high on Cam Ward. Tennessee has number 1 overall pick. There has been conversations with Tennessee about what it would look like to trade up to get the number 1 pick so they could get their choice of Cam Ward. Obviously, Shedeur Sanders is still in the mix as well. So they definitely have been doing their homework at quarterback, and there's some options there. I definitely think they'll find an option, whether it's a short-term guy like Aaron Rodgers or Russ, or whether it's a long-term option like Cam Ward or Shedeur. So that's kind of an outlook of where I see the Giants and kind of where, my conversations are with them as far as free agency. So, yeah, as I mentioned that, I guess, does anything jump out to you quarterback-wise for either of you guys?
I mean, go ahead, Joe. You can go first.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm a Giants fan, right, at this point of, where they are in kind of this rebuild, I guess you can say, I personally would want the young guy, right? So if that's a Cam or a Shedeur, I'm not a huge fan of, if you're a player away, and the Giants could be a player away. It could just be the quarterback with all the pieces they've kind of put together and some of the young talent that they already have on that team. And you go after a Rodgers or you go after a Russ. But reality is, like, not to take anything away from an Aaron Rodgers or a Russell Wilson, like, we haven't really seen them the same way we're used to seeing them, right? So it's like, you can go and make that investment and go get this kind of veteran guy. But then, one, if that doesn't pan out now, you kind of wasted another, year or two where you could have maybe gotten the camera, you could have gotten a guy in Shador. So me personally, it's like, go get the young guy now and build around this young core that you already have. And hopefully you could build a team of success for the next 5, 6 years. So personally, if I'm the Giants and I'm a fan of the Giants, I would want to see like a Cam Ward. Obviously, you got to trade up probably to go get him. But that's where I would want to be as a fan.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely makes sense. I mean, like when you think of a rebuild, you kind of think of like start over kind of thing, right? And bringing in an older guy for a rebuild, it could work, it could not work. It just depends on it could give them more time to then get somebody else in the next couple of drafts. You know what I mean? So it's kind of a difficult thought process. And I think that's kind of where they are right now. I mean, I think that's where an organization would be at in their mindset. Like, hey, do we want to go get, an Aaron Rodgers or a Russell Wilson who we know can ball and will put, good numbers up for us and get the ball out to the guys that we need to get the ball out, run the offense effectively and lead the team? Or do we go get a younger guy and allow him that space to grow and develop under, whether they get somebody older or just grow and develop, because pressure breeds diamonds. So if they put him in a pressure situation, he'll flourish and end up being something that we can rely on for a long period of time. So there's give and take to both sides. I think both sides definitely are going to have to take patience. And I think that's kind of like where they are right now.
Yeah, and for sure. And if it's Cam Ward, maybe the Miami to New York connection continues. I know a lot of home folks travel from Miami to New York. Maybe that continues there. I'll be at his pro day on the 24th, and that'll definitely be something quite to see. On the New York tip, though, before we go into like the rest of free agency, are you excited about anything in particular about the city of New York?
But just being in the city.
I know they're technically in New Jersey, but like. You could be in New York. Like, I don't know if you decided where you're gonna live, but like, I would live in New York. But we'll see, right? Like the city of New York.
I mean, honestly, just like the whole idea of New York, like that's kind of how like I felt when I moved to Miami. Like, damn, it's about to be Miami. Like, you down here, the parties were right. But New York it has so much culture, so much rich history about hip hop, battle rap, like the area. Like my mom is from Harlem, you know what I mean? Like they grew up in Harlem. So being able to like go see where she grew up or where my grandma grew up, and then like my grandpa was like a big New York fan. Like he loved the Mets, he loved the Knicks. He loved the Jets. He did not like the Giants. He watched the Giants. He loved the Jets.
You got to choose a side.
You know what I mean? My grandma called me and said that he would be so happy that I'm out there. Like, there's just so much history in New York that I'm so excited to see the museums, the dope like little speakeasies. I know they got some super great food up there, so I'm super excited. The pizza, bacon, egg, and cheeses, the Aki way. I'm excited to indulge in all of that. Because I'm living out there. I'm creating a legacy out there, and I'm really super excited to be in New York, be by the league office. That's another thing that I want to do. Like go to the league office, check that out. I try to just put my foot in every pond so that I can experience it all. And man, I just want to like leave my mark in that area and call that like my second home. So yeah.
And from a city perspective, there's no bigger city for marketing, for branding,
None.
for being able to elevate your name even beyond football.
Facts.
What you
courtside at MSG, What with Spike Lee with the Knicks gear on? I got all that, bro. I got all that gear for sure. And my girl, she loves the Knicks, so I'm definitely got to go courtside. That would be fire.
Yeah, they're still not gonna win nothing, but it's cool to.
This is where the disconnect is because I can't stand it.
Yeah, he turns.
MSG's dope, but it's also gonna be. You got to get used to. I mean, you're from Oregon and Canada, so I guess you're kind of used to the cold. But that cold hits different out there.
It's just about adapting, bro. This is the thing. So when you get down here, right? Like, when I first moved down here, like I had clothes to like layer, right? So I like put a shirt on, then I put a cardigan on or something. So, but now that I've been like 4 years out here, I only got like t-shirts and shorts. I got a bunch of t-shirts and shorts. So I'm like, all right, I got a pack to go to Oregon. I mean, to go to New York. I'm like, where my jackets at? I got like one jacket. I'm like, damn. So I'm gonna have to redo my wardrobe. But at the same time, I'm gonna have fun being able to like, really dress it down, dress it up, like the whole thing. So, but yeah, like Oregon is higher up on the map than it is New York. I'm cooling. Like it snows in Oregon. I loved it when it snowed. So I'm gonna be able to adapt, man. I'm not tripping. I'm not.
So you're not gonna be outside when it's December thinking about those 75-degree days in Miami on the golf course.
Nah. I ain't gonna be doing that. I'm gonna be inside with my hot cocoa and I'm gonna be nice and warm. That's what I'm gonna be doing. That's what I'm gonna be doing. But it's gonna look dope though.
The fits and the cold though go hard. Like that's one thing like in Miami, it's hard to really dress up. I mean, you can only wear tees, shorts,
right.
Maybe some button downs. Like Cam's got the Miami shirt on right now. Like that,
right? It's just in him now. It's just in his DNA now.
It is. I'm a Miami man. Like it just is what it is. I accept facts. I guess we were talking about free agency, and I want to jump quickly to Dolphins and then a little league overlook. Dre, I'll start with you on this. Obviously, the team has made a few additions so far. I'll start with the safety room because obviously that's the room Von's in. They brought in Ashton Davis from the Jets, Melifonwu from the Lions, and brought in a few other guys. Brought back Dodson, signed James Daniels on the O-line, Zach Wilson as a backup quarterback. Seems like they're more value signings, trying to get guys to hit at a value price like they did with Jonnu and Calais and Brewer and some of those guys last year. What's your reaction as a fan at this stage, in particular to the safety room and the rest of the additions?
Yeah, no doubt. I think the biggest thing was really paying attention to the offensive line, right? I mean, Dolphins fans have been praying to Greer to get offensive line help, right? I mean, we talked about it last year. It was kind of the conversation going into the season, and here we are going into this season, and we're already kind of like in that same kind of narrative, right? So I am happy with the signing in Daniels for the line. I think that's going to help. Obviously, there's still a moving question, like does Armstead come back? What does the draft look like in terms of offensive line pieces? So I like the fact that we went and did get a good offensive lineman, spruce up the interior specifically. I think that was a big help. One of the big signings that I really wanted to see, and it happened, I think it was either today or yesterday, was Dodson, like bringing him back. He had a great second half of the season. I think he fits that scheme really well. So bringing him back, I think, is a great value. Having him on the defense still is going to be a huge piece. But you look, and we still need a ton of help, right? We lost Fuller. We obviously lost Vaughn. There's a big need in the secondary, and like, what are those pieces look like? That's my biggest question. And Vaughn, I'll kind of like toss this to you, and this is me kind of like looking at it from the outside in. But does the scheme that the Dolphins run not really, I wouldn't say like favor safeties, but it doesn't make them less important, maybe? That's why we felt the need to go with like a less, I guess, expensive style of safety play, right? Because, I mean, right now, in my opinion, obviously we're regressing at that position. So it's like, do we not depend so much on the safeties that I guess they think, like, hey, we don't really need to go spend too much money there?
Yeah, I would say the scheme for the safeties is more so like umbrella thought process. You know what I mean? Like kind of like keep everything in front of you mindset, like stay deep. I think when you look at the Ravens and how they were built, because it's kind of like a Ravens scheme. The way that the Ravens are built, their front is like where they make the bread. The front and like the front seven. And then their safeties or their corners, like if their safeties and corners good, then their defense is even better. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the thought process is to build from the bottom up. So like the D-line, the linebackers, and then the safeties. I will say Ashton does. He's been with the Jets for the last 5 years, I think. He's like kind of a jack of all trades. Very fast, very athletic. He does a lot for the Jets. Core teamer as well. And I think that he's going to be, he's going to have some success in Miami. I think Iffy, the same thing. He's kind of been behind not Brian Burns. What's 32? He was
Brian Branch and
Brian Branch and
and Kirby Joseph. Yeah.
Right. So he's been kind of behind them on the Lions. But Iffy's the same way. Like Iffy's really athletic, really talented, tall, lanky, has range. He's going to have some success, as well as Patrick McMorris and Elijah Campbell. Like they both are still really good players. And I think Patrick last year was sitting behind me and JP. And I think that he can really play. He just needs this opportunity to be able to flourish. And I think that he's going to get that as well as Elijah. Because Elijah, whenever he came in, he was making a lot of plays. So, yeah, exactly. So I think they've got a good mix, man. I think that group is going to gel well together, and they're all, good people. I know them personally, and I'm excited to see, what they put together.
Yeah. Cam, what's I mean, you see what the Chiefs did, right? Kind of restructuring deals for a couple guys there, Mahomes being one of them, to open up some cap space. Are the Dolphins really in a place that they can move around some things for cap space? I mean, at this point, free agents, are pretty much gone, but I mean, there's still a couple pieces there.
Yeah, they can. It's interesting. They have decisions to make, right? Like they ended up doing a deal with Bradley Chubb where he took a pay cut of some sorts and got his salary cap number down a lot to open up space for them. He's coming off that significant injury. And so, obviously he felt a need to do that to be able to, remain on the roster. And he's got incentives that he can make back that money. The big one for them is Tua. Tua, you can restructure his deal and give you almost $20 million in cap. But like, there's a lot of layers to this. If you restructure a deal, it makes it more difficult to get out of, or to be able to have a clean cap number going forward. And so you kind of lock yourself in. So you have to make a decision. Do you want the short-term benefit or do you want to keep your books long-term? And so right now, as we've seen the last two off seasons with Miami, they've chose, okay, we're going to let some of our homegrown talent go in Christian Wilkins and Robert Hunt and now Jevon Holland, and we're going to try to find value replacement for him. Now, it's worked in mixed results. We're going to see how it works for Vaughn, but that's the route they've chosen. It kind of is it's kind of the result of the way they went about building the team. They went ahead and made that splash trade for Tyreek Hill. They made the splash trade for Jalen Ramsey and Teron Armstead and paid them top of the market money. Same for Tua, same for Waddle. You invest in your choice of guys, and then the rest of your roster kind of has to adjust because of that. You can't pay, 10 dudes top of the market money. You got to choose who we want to invest our money in, and they've chosen. And so for lack of a better term, this is their core, and you'll see them kind of supplement with different signings. So yeah, they can create money and maybe, go get a pass rusher or go get a safety. They were in on Joey Bosa, but they got outbid. He went to Buffalo. They're trying to get, fillers there, but I don't expect them to be big splash movers throughout the rest of free agency. I definitely think this is going to be filling holes and then hoping to use the draft to try to build in longer term upgrades.
Yeah, makes sense.
So I guess I'll toss this and we'll end shortly. Just big things free agency wise, period. For each of you guys, is there something that you saw, agreed deal, or something that popped out to you like, oh, wow, that was a surprising one. That was a shocker.
Shocker.
I mean, low-key, Joey Bosa to the Bills. I was like, oh, wow, that's a good pickup. Joey Bosa to the Bills.
Absolutely.
DK to the Steelers. Sam Darnold to the Seahawks, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Sam Darnold to the
Seahawks. Geno to the Raiders. E-Rob back to the Raiders. That was cool to see. They're like building the 2022 Dolphins again. They got E-Rob. They got Christian. They got AB, Jink. They're putting it back together.
Yeah, they are. What's interesting about that, and like this is a little behind the scenes. I thought the Steelers should have brought E-Rob back, and it's interesting. You talked about free agency earlier, like things happen in free agency that surprise you, right? And this is on a lower level. The Steelers ended up signing Malik Harrison as a linebacker who used to play with Patrick Queen and with the Ravens. He came in and he essentially replaced E-Rob's role. And so E-Rob went to Vegas because of that. But like, you make decisions on bringing outside talent in versus somebody and you're taking risk here and there. And it's like money's there, but it might be said and it's not said. Free agency is just a weird process that I don't think unless you're particularly in it. And like Vaughn said, like I thought personally, like I was surprised that Carolina, which I thought was definitely a top option for you, Trayvon Moore, shout out to him, got top of the market money, and it just kind of shows you, teams have different valuations. Like they were definitely in on Vaughn, and it was close, and they just made a decision one way or the other, right? Which is good for him, but like every team, like you might have had 28 teams that said, hey, this guy's our top guy. And 3 teams may have a different perspective, and they might be the ones who are paying the highest money. So like that was a surprise for me, honestly, because everybody I talked to had a different perspective than Carolina did. And, we'll see exactly how that works out. I think the biggest surprise for me were some of the trades, like Laramie Tunsil getting traded to the Commanders. Obviously, former Dolphin was the Texans. The Texans definitely needed offensive line help, and they traded him away. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson getting traded to the Texans for Philly after he just won a Super Bowl.
Right, that was surprising.
And a lot of these are money reasons. Like Laramie Tunsil is going to want an extension, top of the market. He's on the other end of 30. They start thinking maybe we need younger. We can't invest that money in. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, this is a team in Philly that spent a lot of money over the last 10 years in cash. And so they got to think, maybe we got to get cheaper because we got to pay Jalen Carter and Cam Jurgens and Reed Blankenship. So they got to prep, and they make decisions like that. DK Metcalf getting traded from Seattle to Pittsburgh. These are all deals that like are seismic in perspective. But I think from people at home, we just see the number, we just see the name, and don't necessarily see the number or the money that's involved in some of these decisions, which is why guys get traded for pennies as far as picks, but it's the thought, hey, we got to pay DK Metcalf $30 million a year. We're not in that spot as Seattle. And so maybe we trade into Pittsburgh where they are in that spot. So I think those are a couple of things that stood out to me.
Yeah. I thought the Bears did a really good job too, this kind of free agency period with some of the trades that they put and really sprucing up that offensive line for Caleb. So, and they got a couple other guys. So they're building a nice little roster there in Chicago too.
Hell yeah. I like what the Giants did too, bro. Like I really do. Like I know quarterback is going to be a issue, a question mark there, but signing Vaughn, a really solid deal there. Signing Adebo, a young. Like I love teams that are betting on young talent who's still ascending, being a part of the picture. Like I think that's what free agency is about. A lot of times you see guys paying for past value instead of future value, and I think the Giants did a really good job for that. So I guess here as we start to wrap this thing up. I think for a lot of Miami, this is sort of goodbye. This will probably be the last time we talk extensively about Vaughn in Miami. So I guess I'll leave this and I'll start with you, Dre. Vaughn, you can pick up your memories that stands out about your time in Miami, your time with Vaughn, whatever comes to mind. Shoot.
Well, football-wise, I mean, I think the best memory was that Jets game, the 99-yard return.
Yeah.
I remember watching that. The way that game was kind of going down. Tua, I think, had thrown 2 picks at that point of the game, and we're like, really, like, come on, like we got to find a way to win this game. And it was close at that point. And then that ball goes up, and I see Vaughn get it, and I'm like, all right, whatever. We're ending the half with a pick, and then I kind of see him looking downfield. I'm like, this dude's about to return this, I think. And then he took off. And I remember I was with 3 of my boys at my crib, and we were going crazy watching that go down. So, I mean, football memory, I mean, there's a ton of them. The punch out early this year against Jacksonville was sick. Another close game-changing play. And Vaughn's been a game changer for us. So, I mean, just seeing those type of plays on the field, some of the best memories for a while from a safety standpoint. I mean, the closest probably safety that we had was Rashad Jones. Hard-hitting guy, fun to watch on the defensive side. So, those on the football side are some of the best memories of Vaughn. Also, off the field, I'm trying to think of a really bad golf shot Vaughn hit, but but nah, I mean he's got a little snap hooky with the driver. I know he had the mini driver for a while, but nah, the golf game's good. He's hit some good shots out there. But any time out on the course is a good memory. So I always cherish those days for sure.
No doubt.
Absolutely.
No doubt. Yeah, I'd say when we beat the Bills my second year, I think it was just such a back and forth game. The defense ended up playing 98. I ended up playing 98 snaps that game, almost 100 snaps, which is crazy. And just how it went down and how we ended up winning. And I remember when we won the game, Nick Needham threw his helmet in the air we won the Super Bowl. Threw his helmet in the air. He was like, "Let's go!" And I ran up to him and chest bumped him, bro. It was hilarious. And then when we got in the locker room, I was sitting next to him. He was like, "Bro, it's only game 3." I was like, "I know." We was acting like it was a Super Bowl, but I think that was one of the best memories That and then the 99-yard like pick six was fire, bro. It was just like second nature. I was kind of just out there doing it, but yeah, man. I got a bunch of memories of just being out there with the guys, man, having fun, like feeling good. And I think that I'm gonna cherish those moments and those relationships that I got with people. So shout out to all the boys on the Dolphins that ended up going other places, man. Shout out to Braxton, went to the Texans. Yeah. Rob went to the Cowboys. It's been fun, man. It's been fun. It's been a blast. I'm gonna miss the homies for real. And I'm excited to see where a bunch of other guys go and the success that they have in other places. Hopefully some of them come to the Giants and we continue that train of just kicking it. So yeah, man, definitely.
Yeah, that's dope. I guess first thing, like as you guys talk, one thing that popped into my head, that the big pick six return that you had that Black Friday, has it soak in that was at MetLife? At MetLife, the same stadium we gonna play your games at. It's sort of interesting because it's bittersweet for me because obviously you had that crazy play, but that's also the field that you got hurt on, right. Which isn't necessarily a great memory as well. So I view it as like bittersweet, but like it kind of clicked to me as you said it. I'm like, man, so I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but that's a part of the process.
It's a good thing. Like I always feel good playing there. It was just a matter of like I just was in a weird position, so that's why I didn't trip. Like the last Jets game, like I felt like I played a really good game, and I felt like I was flying around having fun, and I felt good on that turf. So, we can go down and be in that royal blue vibing, man, and them throwbacks. Swagging it. Hopefully I can get that number 8 because number 8. That's another reason why I was like, oh, this must be destiny because number 8 is open, right? So I'm like, I might have to go I'm trying to get it. I don't know.
So it is open. So you don't have to pay nobody no money because you've been free agent. I hope not. If somebody had the 8, they was gonna charge you.
Look, I hope nobody got it. I hope I can get that. I told my agent, I was like, yo, tell them folks I'm trying to get that number 8, man. I'm trying to. So hopefully I can get it, man, and be able to rock that. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely think that like from on like a personal level, because like there's obviously moments from a team, but like getting to know you, our relationship evolving over the 4 years and it'll continue to grow. Like I think that just kind of seeing your development. Like I said, you were captain for multiple years there. You were like I kept telling people on TV, like, hey, Von's about to be this one, Von's about to be this one. And I think this contract is like kind of validity of like, hey, people around the league see you as one of the top safeties and see you as that going forward, right? And a lot of times we get recency bias because of maybe how 2024 went as a team or maybe some injuries, but I think that your talent is going to show out, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you do there. But being able to like vibe, have a good time on the golf course, being able just to laugh about different things in life or football, that'll be cool. Those are cool memories on my end. So yeah, man, I'm happy for you. This isn't like a sad goodbye, but I definitely wanted to.
Yeah, Y'all gotta come up to Northeast Golf, man. They said it's crazy up there. Y'all come fuck with me, man.
It's
Ryder Cup is there this year.
Hey, bro, I played a golf round in North Carolina. It was like 45 degrees. I'm like, I do not know how y'all do this.
Come on, bro. It's not bad. Just throw a little, but you get to wear that golf. You get to wear some dope at, right? You get to swag it out, bro. Come on,
now. I'm gonna be out there with 2 gloves like Phil Mickelson, trying to keep my hands warm. Nah, it actually isn't that bad. Once you first get started, you start to cool up. But you hit the ball the wrong way, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt off the club.
For sure. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it'll be a blast. You'll obviously go down in New York tonight. Or Wednesday night. Thursday, you'll get introduced to the media and do your whole shebang there. And we'll have more for you guys from Breaking House Rules on the weeks ahead about Javon, about free agency, about life. This is off-season mode, so we're going to have some interviews. We're going to have some fun next couple of weeks. But we just want to focus this episode on the celebratory day for Von and week. And, a life-changing moment for him. So congrats to you, Amanda, your family, and ball out in New York.
Appreciate it, y'all.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
See y'all next time.
Yes, sir, Ski.